The 2017 iPhone 10, the iconic redesign iPhone that really made kind of the notch mainstream here, is one of my favorite iPhone deals around right now, and here's why. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. This 2017 iPhone is still one of my favorite iPhone deals. Let's talk about the price here. And first of all, this thing can be found in the mid fives to the mid sixes if you know where to look. I found it on Newegg, refurbished around $579. Apple selling this thing for like $769, so that's probably not your best route. But if you look for a really good condition one used, people are selling these in the fives and sixes, and I think it makes it one of the best iPhone deals around right now if you can score a deal on one. Now this phone still looks legendary and iconic because it was a redesigned iPhone, kind of like the iPhone 5 when you went from the 4S to the 5, or you go from the 3GS to the 4. It has that special feel to it because it was the first of its kind, and it feels more special than even the 10S because the 10S is basically the same phone as this. So I really do like that. It's got its own identity because it was the first of its kind, a very original kind of feel to it. So we talked about the price a little bit. One of my favorite reasons why this phone is one of my favorite deals right now is the extraordinary build quality and the looks. I think it's still a beautiful smartphone here, and it's ergonomic, compact. And one of the main things I really love about the iPhone 10 is that it still fits in 2019 with ease. Let's take a look at some other premier flagship phones on the market to compare it side by side. So you can see the iPhone XS looks identical, but it's not as special because it wasn't the original. It's kind of, you know, the next model. Yes, it's more refined. It is a better phone than the iPhone 10 overall. But I gotta say, I mean, this one just felt special because it was the first of its kind. Now, another phone right here, Google's best Pixel 3. They have the 3A now, which is their best budget phone, but their premier Pixel 3 right now still doesn't, you know, feel as high quality as an iPhone 10. And this came out in 2018. So the iPhone 10 still fitting in just fine here in 2019. Now let's take a look at Samsung's best, Samsung Galaxy S10. And you can see right here, still, that's very comparable phones right there. I mean, if you showed this to two people, they would probably have a hard time deciding. So that just shows how well the iPhone 10 was designed. Still got that stainless steel, and the S10 kind of looks similar on the sides, but it has aluminum sides, which is, I mean, it just goes to show that they really built a phone that was built to last here with the iPhone 10. Now here's another one, the OnePlus 7 Pro. This is a much bigger smartphone, but you know, you can see that it's still up there in the build quality with that as well. I mean, yes, that's a bigger device by far, but you can see in terms of overall look, build quality, stuff like that, it's at the same level. So it doesn't feel old. That's the thing. This phone's almost 2 years old, but it doesn't feel old at all. Here's the next reason why this phone is my favorite iPhone deal, or one of them around right now. The OLED display. Now 5.8 inches is a compact size for, you know, newer smartphones, but still comfortable for many people, and still large enough by far to get most of your tasks done on a smartphone today. Apple decided to keep the OLED screen from the iPhone 10 and put it on the 10S, so you basically have the same quality screen you're gonna get on Apple's current $1,000 smartphone for nowhere near the same price point. And what that ensures you is that you're gonna get a beautiful, vibrant display, and it still looks as good as anything I'm looking at here right now in 2019. So really great display on the iPhone 10. It also has the 120 Hz sample rate on here as well, so it's super smooth when you do touch things and open things up. It's a very fast and efficient experience here for the iPhone 10. Now, in addition to that, you have 3D touch, a feature that might not be on the iPhone 11 going forward. So we'll see how that plays out, but you still have 3D touch, which is a really nice feature as well. And True Tone is on this display right here, True Tone. But the only thing is you have the notch, and not everybody likes a notch, but at the same time, this display, the overall quality built by Samsung, just a beautiful panel. And I really don't see any reason why a newer phone has an any better display. It really, yeah, maybe a slightly better accuracy, a little bit bigger, but using this is like using a phone from 2019, a premier phone from 2019. Now, the next reason why the iPhone 10 is one of my favorite deals around right now is its processing performance is still up there with some of the best phones on the market today. The A11 was so ahead of its time when it came out, and Apple still doesn't take advantage of, you know, how much power this phone has on offer here with the iPhone 10. So the A11 just feels just like a 2019 phone in performance. So what that means is that if you buy an iPhone 10 right now, you're not going to be, you know, desiring more out of it in performance. It's only 3 gigabytes of RAM versus the 4 gigabytes of RAM. It still does just fine here in 2019. So I have never desired any more performance from the iPhone 10. Yes, when the iPhone 10s came, I was happy that Apple just came out with an even beastlier processor. It's always, you know, it always makes a tech fan, you know, excited. But for the average person, for pretty much even a heavy user, this is still more than enough power in the A11. So I haven't had any issues, no lag ever. I think this phone restarted maybe one time in my entire ownership of this device. So I gotta say, iPhone 10 still at the top of the game when it comes to performance with that A11 10nm chipset. Okay, so another great thing about the iPhone 10, you're gonna see right here, we have an update to iOS 12.3.1. Now 12.4 betas are out and 13 is coming. I didn't update it because I was too excited to make this video before I hit the update button. But at the same time, this phone's still getting updates and will continue to do so because it's iOS. It should be getting a dark mode as well, and with this beautiful OLED screen, it will definitely show off that really dark black color that's going to be, or that even darker gray. It depends on how they're going to do it out. It's going to be a really nice touch on the iPhone 10 because it does have the technology to make dark mode even more enjoyable. In terms of software, if you bought this phone now, I'm sure you're still gonna get software updates for at least 2 to 3 more years. I'm probably closer to 3, maybe even 4 if Apple really wants to push it. We'll see how it goes there. But it's funny because you could buy an Android phone today and get updates for 2 years, or you can buy this phone, which is 2 years old almost, and you could get 2 to 3 more years of updates here from Apple. So definitely great when it comes to software updates. Okay, so the iPhone 10 is one of my favorite deals as well because it has a dual camera, and not only does it have a dual camera and it's like in the mid 5s, it also gives you 4K 60 recording. And not only is it 4K 60 recording, it's very good 4K 60 recording, which means very smooth and pretty stable. And that's one of the big selling points of this phone, has that telephoto zoom on it. And I just think it has a great camera here for being a 2-year-old phone. Just about, it's going on 2 years. We're about 1.5, but we're getting there. And right now I don't think the camera is going to disappoint at all if you bought this device. It's still at a flagship level for sure. Yes, there's better low light cameras now, there is better cameras overall, but the iPhone 10 can hang with them. I mean, it ain't gonna be the best, but it can definitely hang with them. So iPhone 10 has some pretty good cameras right now. They've held up very well. I'm looking for triple cameras on the next iPhone, but for now, if you bought this phone, I don't think cameras would disappoint you whatsoever, unless you're looking for the best low light performance you can get out there. So the next reason why I think the iPhone 10 is a pretty good deal right now is the battery health has held up very well for me. I'm at 100% still. I really do charge my phone up quite quickly. I don't let it get low so we don't cycle too much. But the iPhone 10's battery health has held up a lot better than the prior iPhones that came before it. In addition, this phone always got me through a day. Now, it didn't do it easily. I had to manage my battery a little bit, lower the brightness. I got down to 10% or so, but it still was able to stretch a full day, which was good for this phone. So I think that this is not a phone that'll not last you a full day. It'll get you through the day. So that's a pretty good thing about the iPhone 10. While it's not great battery life, it has good enough battery life for the size of the battery. Then I'm not gonna say write it off because of the battery life. And it's also one of my favorite iPhone deals because it still has really great speakers. I would like to see a promotion display going forward for iPhones 120 Hz. Very loud and dual speakers here for the iPhone 10. So that puts it up there still feeling like a premier flagship phone, even though it came out in 2017. A couple other luxurious features this has the IP67 rating and wireless charging. Now, yes, you get a pretty weak charger for fast charging in the box. It doesn't do it with the 5-watt. You're gonna need to use like an iPad charger to get faster charging on this phone. And lastly, the resale value on this phone is still gonna be high, even in about 2 years. I think you'll be able to still get in the $300 to $400 range for this, which is incredible for how old it will be in 2 to 3 years. It'll be like a 5-year-old phone, and you'll still be able to get $300 to $400 for it. So really good resale value here for this iPhone 10. So in mid 2019, I find this to be one of my favorite iPhone deals just because of the reasons I mentioned, and mostly because it still feels like a premier flagship. I'm having a hard time justifying these newer ones when Apple was already putting out a phone that's almost the same as what they have now 2 years ago. So yeah, if you're deciding to buy one right now and you really have your eyes set on this particular device, you will not be disappointed even here mid 2019. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is this one of your favorite iPhone deals? Do you have a better iPhone deal you could think of? Let us know down below. And if you bought one of these or you're still holding on to one, which I don't blame you if you are, let us know your experience with the iPhone 10. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well. Peace.